Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Shadowrun Dragonfall. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today in our home as we check our computer over here and see what we have. So the cool blue tones of the workstation's main menu fill the screen. The blinking message in the upper right corner notifies you that you have 2 unread messages. I'm gonna check my inbox for new messages. You have, regarding a job, hijacked shipments. Metback Gunari, that's who this is from. If you value new hardware coming into the cruise bazaar, we need to talk. One of my weapon shipments was hijacked by a local gang. I can promise 500 new yen, and if you recover the shipment, I'll have some new gear on the shelf. Come see me for the details. This is interesting. Okay, so this is the Roma, the trader outside, I think. Is it Roma or Romani? How do you say that? I'm not sure. Either way, he might not be. He kind of comes across as that a little bit. We need to talk, apparently. This is from Exkibel, Dr. Zabier. Come see me at your earliest convenience. There is a matter we need to discuss. There is indeed, but you didn't discuss with it with me the last time around. Let's we can read the old messages, but we don't need to. We have the open jobs directory. I can claim the payment for the Humanis data still that we had before. You submit the job as finished and await your client's response. A few moments later, a message pops onto the screen for 3,750 new yen. Pretty good. From Samuel Backenbauer. Here's your payment as promised. A moment later, a message pops into your inbox. Your payment details. Payment from client 22,500. Deductions from crew salary 6,000. Ammunition and resupply costs 1,500. Automatic deduction for Alice funds 11,250. Remainder sent to Edie's account 3,750. That is, I get a big cut. I get basically 60 2/3 extra basically in comparison to the crew. View all pending jobs. Let's see, pending active jobs. Enter query. We have Mark 6 prototype extraction. Amzel's face swings onto the screen. Edie, here you will find the complete transcript of my conversation with Herr Smith, a potential client. As you will see, the details of the job are a bit more vague than I would like, but the payout is quite substantial. After reading the transcript, you may choose whether or not to accept the job. If you respond in the affirmative, our client will be notified, and I will make all the necessary preparations for the run. One other thing, Herr Schmidt, however you pronounce that, provided me with a device to assist you on the run. He calls it a little black box. Apparently it can be used to compromise the power and security systems of the run site. If you opt to take the job, be sure to take it with you. Amzel's image flickers and then winks away. A moment later, a glowing blue text field begins to scroll up from the bottom of the screen. Guest. Greetings, Herr Amzel. I trust that this connection is secure? Naturally. To whom do I have the pleasure of speaking? Call me Herr Schmidt. Very well, Herr Schmidt. You have some business for me? Indeed, I have a job for your team. A simple matter. Judging by what I have heard of your team, I imagine that they will be well suited to the task. Go on. The interests that I represent have learned that AG Chemi Europa is working on a company-wide project, something very secret, very new. Reliable sources inform me that they are keeping a working prototype of this new venture at their Berlin factory. I see. And your employer wishes us to acquire this prototype for them? Naturally. What is this project? If you want my team to grab the prototype for you, they'll need to know what they are looking for. I'm not at liberty to say. I can tell you that the prototype has been branded Mark 6. I can also tell you that your team will find it on the 25th floor of the Berlin facility, in the office of the Albrecht Hausschoffer. Further, I can assist your team in disabling building security and gaining access to the 24th floor. From there, however, they will be on their own. Such vagueness can be dangerous, Herr Schmidt. I will not commit my team to a run without a better understanding of what the job entails. Facing such dangers is the purpose of a Shadowrunner, Herr Amzel. Your team will be rewarded handsomely for your services, or their services. My employers have set aside 20,000 new yen for the job. Consider it hazard pay, if you wish. Make it 25,000 new yen, or look somewhere else. 22,500 new yen? Final offer? Very well, I will pass your offer to my team. Are there any further details that you can provide? Horschoffer's office will be locked behind a vault door. The lock is old-fashioned, of the mechanical variety. I will provide your team with a copy of the key. I will also supply you with a... Oh no, he continues. I will also supply you with a little black box, a solid-state device that your team can use to override a variety of building systems. Your team will enter through the facility's underground garage. When your team has acquired the Mark 6, have them exit through the same garage. I will have a van there waiting to extract them. Thank you, Herr Schmidt. I will pass your offer to my team. Good day, Herr Amsel. The text field disappears. A single line of text pops onto the center of the screen, taking its place. Accept job? Yes or no? Decline for now. Okay, that's pretty important because I kind of wanted to read the other one. And I kind of want to not do those before we do the other mission. So, reading pending karma cleanup job. Let's see what this one is. Hamzel's face winks onto the screen. Here you will find the complete transcript of my conversation with Herr Fox, a potential client. The job seems to be relatively straightforward, and the payout is reasonable. One word of caution before you proceed. There are aspects of this run that you might find morally troubling. Be sure to read and understand the specifics of the job before accepting. If you do accept, you will be expected to carry out the requirements of the job in full. After reading the transcript, you may choose whether or not to accept the job. If you respond in the affirmative, our client will be notified, and I will make all the necessary preparations for the run. Herr Amsel? Yes, I am here. To whom am I speaking? You may call me Herr Fox. Very well. Please describe the work that you would like to have done. Straight to the point. I like that. Very well. I would like to retain your team's services to clean up a mess. Go on. My employers dispatched a team of operatives to conduct a quiet operation at the local Schering Pharma AG lab. Unfortunately, they botched the job. The team was eliminated, but we have reliable information that one of the operatives has been taken captive. If this rogue agent were to spill information leading back to my employers, it could lead to a corporate war. A great many lives could be lost. My employers would like nothing more than to prevent such a tragic turn of events. Ah, I see. And you wish to retain my team's services to tie up loose ends? Exactly. The captive operative is a rigger by the name of Thorvald Enstad. We need him neutralized before he can inform on us to his captors. As Enstad and his team have already put the facility on high alert, stealth will not be an option. Your team will need to shoot its way in, eliminate Enstad, and exit the facility. As a straightforward enough task, and well within my team's capabilities. What are you offering in terms of pay? 15,000. This offer is non-negotiable. Very well, I will pass the offer on to my team. Very good. Good day, Herr Amsel. And I can accept or decline. I'm going to decline for now, as before. I hope the recording is going well, because the power just flickered a little bit, and everything seems to be in order, but you never know. Anyway, if all of a sudden the screen just sort of like... If you can hear me, but the screen doesn't move, or my mouse, I suppose, doesn't move, then that's probably what's happening. Sometimes that happens. So I have the open jobs. I'm going to check the status for Alice, and 21,000, that's going pretty well. I can deposit 5,000 from my wallet as well. I have 5,000? I'm rich. Let's access the Shadowrun BBS as well. Post-pay data for sale. I don't think I have anything from me. Attach data to escrow account. Data will be automatically sold. I do have a Humanist safe house list. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh, this is going to be... Hopefully it's going to be sold to people who hate Humanist, and we'll kill them all in the face. We'll see. Shadowrun connection established. Link strength 100%. Spoofing true. Group info not available. Huh. Welcome to Shadowrun. Okay, let's see what we have. A thread. Francis Highlander. Best new deck. Just got one of... who's this from? Lumens. Just got one of those... one of these from a Transys Neuronet rep. Wants me to sell them in my store, so I took the puppy for a test drive. Signal quality is insane, makes for a huge difference in comfort decking fatigue. I can stay jacked in for hours and feel fine. Last session I had to set a timer just so I wouldn't forget to eat. The specs on that thing look impressive, says WraithLike44. But I am an Allegiance man. Does the comfort really make that much of a difference? My decks are getting generally beaters anyway. Tolstoy says, Allegiance? What are you doing with that thing? Playing video games? Any serious decking is going to require way more horsepower than that thing can push, even overclocked. And Wraithlike44 says, only a crappy decker blames their gear. I do just fine, thanks. Maelstrom says, how much is Transis paying you to post this scheisse on here? So that little weird B in German is 2 S's. Curious. Because it has been... either way. It's no more messages there. They apparently rage quit or something. Help! Drowning in junk messages. This is from Rolling Thunder. Hoy, chummers, I could use your help. Every time I jack into the Matrix these days, I'm flooded with junk mail. There's so much of it, I can't even see. Can anyone help me? And Wraithlike44 says, great, another newbie who thinks he's on a tech support board. Rolling Thunder says, hey, stuff it. I wouldn't ask, but I'm desperate. I can't deck like this. The Smiling Bandit strikes again. Says, alright, Thunder, calm down. It sounds like an ad bot is keyed into your deck. Been poking around anywhere sketchy lately? I don't need details. A simple yes or no will do. Rolling Thunder says, no, Bandit, I haven't been anywhere like that. I swear. Please help me. Wraithlike44 says, Watcha wanna bet he gave his personal info to some scam site. I'll give you 10 to 1 odds. Rolling Thunder says, no, I don't think so. All I've done was make an online dating profile. Let me guess. Meet and mate? The Smiling Bandit says. How'd you guess? Rolling Thunder says. That's not a real dating site, Thunder. It's a place where desperate people go to get infected with malware, says Wraithlike44. But what I do? How do I make it stop? Says Rolling Thunder. I don't know. Buy a new deck. Best of luck, says the Smiling Bandit. Oh no. Boy. Yeah, that's rough. It's rough. That's basically the same as getting your router infected, which you can just, well, you can reinstall the firmware, I suppose. Maybe there's some backdoors that can't be bypassed. Router security is a pain in the butt. But anyway, let's see. Access Monica's personnel files. I misread that before. But we're not going to do anything there. And now we have a bunch of new objectives, including meeting with Dr. Exekibel. And, well, I'm definitely talking to Amsel over here. Eddie, welcome back. I have news for you. In your absence, I've been looking into the Harfeld Manor. Whatever Feuerschwing is up to, it's both large-scale and well-funded. I've uncovered a money trail leading from holding companies all over the world to an offshore fund with a dummy address. From there, all of that freshly laundered money flows directly into the Harfeld estate. Wait a second, why would the dragon have investors? That doesn't make sense. It's doubtful that the Firewing pawns will even know where their money is going. This is typical of draconic plots. Uncover a stream of money flowing behind the scenes, and there's a fair chance that you'll find a dragon at the receiving end of it. To a dragon, conspiracy is second nature. But Feuerschwing was different. She didn't scheme or plot. She acted. Yes, and look at where it got her. When the Firewing launched her attack on humanity, it was an act of hubris. She lashed out because she didn't consider our species to be a threat. It would be equally hubristic for us to assume that she will make the same mistake twice. I will continue digging into this while you and the team tackle your next run. With luck, I will have more information to share upon your return. Sounds good, Paul. One last thing, Edie. Malit was able to restore the readable surface of one of Green Winters' DVDs. If you would like to take a look, you will find it sitting beside the player. Just one of them? She's still working on the others. Many of them are extensively damaged, and getting anything off of them is proving to be quite a chore. She has told me that she'll be in touch if and when she makes any headway. Thanks, Paul. That's really handy, actually. Can I talk to you more? Edie, greetings! Amsel peers at you through a battered old pair of wire-rimmed glasses. There's something gentle about the man. With his silver hair and his tweed jacket, he looks more like an aging art history professor, and I've read that before. Which probably means that he doesn't have any more conversation. Can I talk to about Cruise Bazaar? Yeah, so it's basically the same as always. It's good, it's good. Let's see watch some DVDs, basically. The media tray of the DVD player slides out of its battered plastic case. Load the DVD labeled Watch Me, but that's the one that we watched before. Load the second DVD. The soft whir of the spinning DVD is punctuated by an occasional rattling sound. A scratched LCD display comes to life, and a menu fills the screen. Track 1. through 6. The scene goes black for a moment, and then Green Winters appears on the screen. The timestamp on the video reads 2054, 11th of November. Alright. As I said in my last recording, I've been having trouble finding hard facts on Firewing, so I thought I'd open things up a bit. Let's see what the rumor mill has to say. The screen jumps and Winters reappears in a different location. He is now clutching a mug of soy calf in both hands, and there are bags under his eyes. Well, that was enlightening. Assuming that any of it was true, that is. So, for the past 5 hours I've been poking around some of the crazier fringe theories related to dragons and the SOX. As a reminder, the SOX is an irradiated wasteland between France and Germany. It got zoned off back in 08 after the Catanon GAU reactor meltdown. Anyway, there are all kinds of rumors floating around about the place. I've heard stories about a walled city in there that operates on a survival of the fittest, kill or be killed basis, sort of like a nightmare version of Berlin. All of the anarchy, but none of the stability that the F-state provides. The radiation poisoning, cancer, and mana pollutions are just the icing on the cake. So when Adrian helped the Luftwaffe shoot the Firewing down, she crashed into the SOX. That much is well known. What isn't as well known are all the modern-day myths that have arisen about her since. And tonight, I've heard an earful. I chatted up a girl who claimed to be a ghost rat. That's a smuggler that operates in the SOX. She told me about a dragon cult called the Disciples of the Cleaning Fire. Apparently, these cultists worship some sort of radioactive ghost dragon. Could be the Firewing, or it could be nothing, but it's worth digging into all the same. Another thing that my little ghost rat told me, the popular rumor in the SOX is that Firewing, the astral form anyway, was, I guess you'd say, mutated by all that background radiation. Some of the glow punks out there say that she's shed her body like an old coat. Others say that she's trapped, doomed to languishing as an intangible radioactive ghost. I don't know how much credence to give any of this. After all, I don't have any proof that my ghost rat is even a ghost rat. She might be, but then she could also be a run-of-the-mill glowpunk. Or maybe she's just yanking my chain, and she's never been into the SOX at all. Who knows? Well, it's food for thought anyway. I don't know whether the thought of some radioactive ghost dragon thing is any scarier than a genuine dragon is, but it's interesting all the same. Now the big question is, will any of this get me any closer to finding Adrian? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no, but you never can tell. And the Winters leans forward and presses something off screen. The display goes black. A few moments later, the main menu returns. Play track 2. The screen goes black for a moment, and then Green Winters appears on the menu. It's from the next day. Alright, let's continue thinking outside the box. After the Dragonfall, the great dragon Kaltenstein came flying in to the SOX to rescue the Firewing. But he was driven off, some say killed, by Lofvir and Nebelher. So, what if there's another dragon involved in all this? Winters grabs a thick, leather-bound tome from a shelf behind him, licks a finger, and begins to leaf through it. Alright, so let's run down the list of major dragons that could be helping her. First, there's the Golden Worm, Lofvir, the CEO of Seidr Krupp, and quite possibly the single most dangerous being on Earth. Lofvir's a local boy, so he'd be in a position to help Firewing. He certainly has the financial capability to help her. He could send a small army into the SOX if he wanted to. So he's definitely got the means, but I can't see how he'd have the motive. He actively prevented the Firewing's rescue back in 2012, after all. Same thing is true for Nebelher. So let's scratch the both of them off the list. He flips a page, frowning. We've got Aiden, the great Sirush. He's operating out of Turkey. By all accounts, he's not a fan of Lofvir. They're actively competing for territory in the Middle East. So I suppose that could be considered motive. Reviving the Firewing might cause problems for the Golden Worm. But would he risk a war with the Seidr Krupp by straying onto Lofvir's territory? Again, I don't think it's likely. He turns another page. There's Caladir, out in Wales. He's pretty heavily invested in Transys Neuronet, so he's got the money, but he's too busy dealing with the BTL killer scandal that Transys is going through out in London to get his claws dirty in the SOX. He flips another page. Dunkelzan out in the UCAS. What is UCAS? United Yukaz is a real place, I think, and I don't know what it is. Central Africa states? Is that how it's said in English? Yeah, I believe so. The United Central African States. I believe that's how it's what it stands for. He pauses, shakes his head, and then he slams the tome shut. Nah, this is a waste of time. The more I think about it, the more convinced I am the Firewing is acting alone. Dragons don't cooperate unless they absolutely have to. After all, why bother making nice with your equals when you've got an entire planet full of pawns at your disposal? They don't need to work together. They have us to exploit. Winters leans forward and does the same thing. Play track 3. While this track does load, it's clearly corrupted. The screen fills with a meaningless stream of text. Is it meaningless? It's not necessarily meaningless. Exquivel, potentially. That reminds me of it. And there's definitely the .exe failure, maybe. But I don't see what else it could stand. The text reappears and you find yourself back in, yeah. Let's see, track 4. The file is partially garbled. You can recognize a few words here and there, but they are interspersed amidst a solid block of corrupted text. Vauclair, still my big brother, I suppose. Searching for Firewing, I'll swear to... I will find you. It's the last something or other. Not getting any closer. Swear to something or other. New research turning up. I don't know. It's what you'd expect. This file is corrupted. The screen fills with a meaningless assortment of ASCII characters. It's actually, I say ASCII, but I don't think that... I've never heard it said. ASC2 is what it stands for, and you might know what it is. It's a 8-bit... Is it 8-bit? I think it is 8-bit. 256 characters. It's what ASCII is. I'm not sure though. These are definitely all ASCII. But it's the same. It's the same as before. Interesting. Plays track 6. The screen goes black, and the same digital chime that you heard on the Dragonfall DVD plays again. A crackle of static fills the air, followed by the same, now familiar, electronic whine. A few moments later, the display goes live. Vauclair looks haggard. His eyes are heavily bagged and bloodthirsty, and his air is mussed. He holds a cigarette in an unsteady hand. And this is the original guy. This is the guy that started it all, basically. This is the brother of Green Winters. Hermie, it's me. I can't sleep. I don't know where you are. Out having fun, no doubt. Maybe flirting with one of those unattainable beauties that you're always chasing. He tries on a smile, but it quickly disappears. He takes a drag on his cigarette. That's good. I want you to live a pleasant, normal life. After all, one of us should. He rubs his eyes. I can still smell the smoke, Hermie. It's almost a year later, and I can still taste the stench of burning corpses. When I sleep, I can hear the sirens and the screams. There's no sound in this world as horrible as a burn victim's screams. The doctors would call this PTSD, I'm sure. They'd have me in therapy, maybe dose me up on SSRIs, like they do to our veteran soldiers. He chuckles and then takes another drag. Quite a story for the tabloids. The great dragon slayer, Adrian Vauclair, mentally incapable of wrestling with his own demons. He shakes his head. Nah, no therapy for me, and certainly no medication. I have a reputation to live up to. However poorly deserved it is, and however little I want it. He pauses, stubs his cigarette out. The dragon is still alive, Hermie. Of that I'm certain. One day I'll find her, and then perhaps I'll be able to sleep through the night. The display goes black, and the background whine fades away. A moment later, you find yourself deposited back to the main screen. And you eject the DVD. Well. Nothing that is completely revolutionary or anything. But that's fine enough. Let's deal with a doctor. That is indeed Gunari Metbak. That is indeed the person I was thinking of. So where's the doctor? Because we're gonna deal with him before. Oh, it's over here. Right. We're gonna deal with him before dealing with the weapons trader. Mostly because if there's a priority thing, I don't need the weapons as much as I need to figure this one out. So, Dr. Exabiel. Welcome back. What can I do for you, my friend? Well, I got your message. What do you want to discuss? Well, the end of the episode. Because we're out of time for the day. So for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Shadowrun Dragonfall. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.